Hi everybody, my name is Victoria. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. And today I'm going to be doing the Why Haven't I Read These Books tag. I wasn't particularly tagged by anyone in this, but this tag has definitely been going around and I had wanted to do it. So I was not tagged, so I will probably not tag anyone else, but I will just put a general tag out there that if you want to do this tag, you may do so. And before we continue, make sure if you're not subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing and check my links down below for anywhere else you can follow me, like Instagram. First question is a classic book that you haven't read yet. And for me, that honor would go to Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. I can't believe I haven't read Little Women. It's one of those books that I feel like is already a favorite for some reason, because I just know that I'm gonna love Little Women. But for some reason, I've just never got around to it. I really wanted to get to it when that adaptation, there was a movie adaptation a few years back, came out, and I was like, this is my time to read Little Women, and I didn't. And I also didn't watch the movie. So I would love to do those two things. Read this and then watch that new adaptation. I can't remember now if people said it was good or not, but I do know that people say Little Women, the book, is good, so I can't believe I haven't read it. And I have this really cute edition of it too, and so I have just no excuse at all. The next prompt is a fiction novel, and for that, I'm going to go with A Gentleman in Moscow by Amor Towles. I picked this up a long time ago at a used bookstore, probably only paid a few dollars for it. I want to say that maybe like $8 or so, and it was kind of a newer book at the time, so I think that was a pretty good deal. But I have not yet picked this up, despite just hearing rave reviews about it. I know Katie from Life Between Words, like, this is one of her favorite books of all time, and ever since she talked about it, that's what really made me want to pick it up. But I think this is actually more of a historical fiction novel, so I guess it could also count for the genre fiction prompt in this tag, but we're going to count it for fiction. 30-year-old Count is deemed an unrepentant aristocrat by a Bolshevik tribunal, and he is sentenced to house arrest in the Metropole, a grand hotel across the street from the Kremlin. An indomitable man of erudition and wit, Rostov must now live in an attic room while some of the most tumultuous decades in Russian history are unfolding outside the hotel's doors. So, sounds a little bit claustrophobic with one man just locked in this hotel room. But if a whole novel can be told from that perspective and center around that, that's some good novel writing right there. So, I am just floored that I haven't read this yet and would really love to sometime soon. The next prompt is a nonfiction book that you have not read yet, and that award, I knew immediately when I saw this prompt. I knew what book I was going to pick. That's Cast by Isabel Wilkerson. What book of the month box did this come in? 2020. Okay, so 2 years ago. I have put it on so many TBRs, and I think Nonfiction November the last 2 years since I got it, and it just hasn't happened, and I don't know why, because I was like super stoked about this book when I first bought it and put it in my book of the month box. I'm a little bit less interested now, but I'm still interested, so it's just the flame is not burning quite so bright for it. But I am still interested. I feel like if I could make this happen for this Nonfiction November, that would just be ideal. This has got to happen. This Nonfiction November, okay? If it's the only Nonfiction November book that I read, it's got to be Cast. Prompt number 4 is a genre fiction book that you haven't picked up yet, and that is going to go to The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. And I haven't picked this up probably for a lot of reasons that you might understand. This author has not yet finished this trilogy/series, and it's been a really long time from what I understand. I know that people love this first book and that people don't like the second book that much, generally speaking. That's what I've heard. So that doesn't give me a ton of confidence, and considering we still don't know when Doors of Stone is going to come out, I have very little motivation at this point. I picked this up for like 50 cents. So no risk there, really. No loss if I don't read it. But I feel like I should read it. I even have like real life reader friends who have read this, who don't read probably as much as I do, but they've read this. And that makes me always feel even worse than I haven't read it yet. It makes me feel like I'm way behind, which I am. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, this is a weird one. I don't know whether to prioritize it or not. And I don't want to read this book if we're never going to get a conclusion to the series. But yes, I know there's many opinions about whether or not Rothfuss is ever going to get around to it. But yes, I still have it. It sits on my shelf. Maybe someday. And then the last and final prompt of this tag is the book on your TBR that you have owned the longest. And that award has to go to Player Piano by Kurt Vonnegut. This was just like casually given to me in high school by a friend. And I don't think they read this book. They just kind of pushed it into my hands because they were like, you like to read? Here's a book. So I don't know how she got it or what the story is there, but they labeled me as the reader in the group. So they gave me this book. I have read Kurt Vonnegut before and like him okay. Slaughterhouse-Five, recently reread that. Didn't like it as much on the second reread. I had read it before and gave it a solid 3 stars the second time around. So Player Piano, I think they also gave it to me because I'm a musician and this is called Player Piano and I play the piano too. So that's probably also why my friend gave it to me. But I don't know if it has much to do with music. Probably not. I actually don't even know. I don't know the synopsis. It just sat on my shelf since high school. I'm not going to tell you how many years ago that was because then you might figure out how old I am. And I think that's it. It's a short tag. A lot of people have already done this tag. It's kind of swept through BookTube already. And I'm probably the last person to do it. But if you would like to do it, you are tagged. You can be a late comer like myself. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Keep reading great books. Thanks for watching today. And until next time, bye-bye.